Well, good afternoon, everyone. This is Dave Thompson. I am your host at Cleaning with the Academy. It is a Monday afternoon. It is 2:30. And as I do every week this year, we will be presenting our hack of the week and a free 1 hour of coaching here on any cleaning question for, well, the commercial cleaning industry. Now, every week we put out one and they're on YouTube. So if you went to our YouTube channel, you probably have already seen our hack for today if you have subscribed, so you're a little ahead of the game. If you haven't subscribed, then you've missed all of the hacks for, well, the last, 6 weeks or 7 weeks? Anyway, I am going to try to make the technology work for me again this afternoon, and we will review last week's hack first before we get into this week's, and then open discussion to anybody that wants to join in. So bear with me just a moment. I'm going to click on there. So if you are on LinkedIn, if you are on YouTube, if you are on our Facebook channel, you can right now put in a question, something that's just bothering you about the commercial cleaning industry. Maybe it is something that you found that, you want to share with everybody else. A success story. Doesn't matter whether you're a frontline worker, whether you're a building service contractor, an in-house provider, maybe you're even a distributor selling janitorial products. I don't know. And quite frankly, I just like to talk to people on a Monday afternoon. Let's get the week started out right. So if everything works right, let's see if we can get the hack up from last week. And here it is. The hose off. And I have a little button here, and the squeegee slides off like that. Now, why am I doing that? The reason that you're doing this is because the squeegee is the most important part of an auto scrubber. I don't care what the head is on the machine. This is the business end. It's the last piece. It picks it up. Now, if this squeegee is damaged right here, it's not going to work. How do you know if it's damaged? How do you know if it's not clean? How do you know these things if you don't take it off? So here's my advice for you. Always, always, always take the squeegee off of the machine before you park it in the closet. So folks, if you go to get the machine, it's in the closet and the squeegee's on it, chances are the last person didn't inspect it. So how does you as a supervisor know? Well, hey, if you go into your come-off closet and the machine is parked and it's on the charger, guess what? It shouldn't have a squeegee on it. There's a holder that should go on the wall or a shelf, put it up there. That way it has to be put on, inspected, and taken care of. Okay, so that is our hack from last week. And hang on, hit the wrong button again, folks. I'm just a guy hitting buttons all over the screen here. So anyway, if you have a discussion about that, now what that is about, making sure that the most important part of an auto scrubber actually works for the intent and purpose of what? Picking up soil, picking up debris. That's what the head was supposed to do. Let it get it all loose, and then something has to pick it up. Now, you know what? Every once in a while, somebody wants to come on the air and be kind of help with the discussion. So before I get to this week's hack, let me see if technology works. And, Mike said he wanted to be back on the show. He had so much fun the last time. Let's see if he has fun this time. Hello, Mike.
Hey, Dave. How are you?
I'm doing good. What did you think about the hack of taking the squeegee off and not parking the auto scrubber in the supply closet with the squeegee on it?
Well, again, Dave, it sounds to me like it's good practice, and it's probably not practiced. It's kind of when I do work on things now, I make sure that all my sockets go back in the socket holder. This way, when I'm looking for them, I'm saving all that time, and I have the stuff there when I need it. And like you said, a quick visual inspection to keep that, as you put it, most important aspect of the auto scrubber functioning correctly, ultimately gives you better results. And cleaning is just as much about what you pick up as what you leave behind.
Well, this is the thing is whenever people have an auto scrubber, I ask this in class here at the Academy all the time, right? What's the most important part on an auto scrubber?
I would now answer the squeegee.
Well, now you would. I'm giving you the hack. So, hey, that's what the hack's all about, right, folks?
I'm not sure I would have answered that before the hack. So that's why it's important to constantly be honing your knife.
That's exactly right. And this is what I've learned. You know, people say, oh, the chemical, it's the scrub head, it's the batteries, it's the person behind it. And I said, just think about this. All of those things are great. And we have to have all those. But if the squeegee isn't on there and working right, I mean, have you ever seen an auto scrubber with a mop behind it?
Yes, that I have seen.
Oh,
Because
really? Somebody put a mop in place of the squeegee?
not a mop per se, but someone mopping up after an auto scrubber that wasn't functioning correctly. That I
Right,
misunderstood the question.
Yeah, they were following around behind the squeegee because it didn't work right. And that's the reason we have the hack, folks, for you today. Last week we talked about, or the week before that, we talked about the scrubbing head, you know, which was the first part that contacts the dirt, that gets it going and gets it into the chemistry, and that's all good. But the last part is, if that squeegee doesn't provide a smooth, clean floor without a mop, then it's just not working right.
Yeah, Dave, honestly, if you're going to do all the effort of utilizing an auto scrubber and get the benefit of the mechanical agitation and the I guess the proper use of the chemical or the mechanical use of the chemical in conjunction with the equipment, and then leave it behind, what's the sense? You've defeated the whole purpose.
Now, folks, I will tell you, and I never got a picture of it, but I did see this in a mall one time where behind the riding auto scrubber, they had a 60-inch dust mop strapped onto the squeegee so it would actually pick up any debris or any water that the squeegee left behind. And I tell you, I couldn't catch up with it fast enough to get a picture of it, folks, but I wish I would have. Just trust me, you don't want to do that. That's why we gave you the hack. So our hack for this week, well, it's somewhat in the same area, but we're going to go back to the bathroom that we started the hacks off with in December. Mike, you and I, and folks, hey, Mike and I've worked on a few projects over the last couple of years. This isn't the same one that you and I did, but I think you'll appreciate this one because it's real close to what you and I did. Anyway, folks, we appreciate those people. I can see we've got 4 people live looking right now. If you have a question, put it into the chat box. I can see it come up right here. We appreciate that. But let's get to today's hack of, well, we're back in the bathroom and working on the floors. So here you go. Welcome to another episode of Cleaning with the Academy. I'm Dave Thompson, your coach for today. And you can see behind me, I've been working. What is my hack for today? Well, you know, the thing is mops have been laying a lot of slime on the floors. People have been disinfecting and leaving all of that on the floor. I got to get it up. So what am I using? The twin brush machine. This one here happens to be called a Brush Pro. Let me show you how it works. Okay, so you saw it spit out that dirt. I didn't put that dirt there. A dirty, filthy mop did that. So really, are you disinfecting? Are you cleaning when you put the chemical in the mop bucket? Remember some of my hacks that I've shown you? Put the chemical on the floor, brush it in, and hey, stay tuned for another hack. I'm going to show you how to pick this up and rinse the floor. Stay tuned for another hack here at Cleaning with the Academy. Okay, Mike.
Well, Dave, I don't exactly recognize that particular bathroom, but I do recognize those results.
Yeah, I thought you might. I thought you might have something to say about that.
It's really deep cleaning.
You know, folks, here's the thing. There's a lot of people that over the last couple of years got all excited about disinfecting bathrooms. And as well, we should always do that. But the problem is when it comes to the floors, I teach this in the classes here, Mike, at the academy, is you can't be putting down chemical with a mop that has grouted floors, because the grout is the squeegee. The grout is what pulls the solution out of the mop fabric and puts it into the grout. The grout's the weakest link. It's the most absorbent. And I just had a restroom decontamination class, and we were doing this here in the classroom. And the lady was like, you know, never really thought of the grout line being the squeegee.
Well, I would tell you that in the demos that you and I have done, and I've done individually, whether it's with an implement of destruction like that nice brush roller or just a hand brush, that the grout lines where, you know, your residues aggregate. They really do. They collect there, and it contributes to a not a clean floor.
Yeah, your grout is what pulls all of the debris there. Chemistry is important, folks, and you might have heard in the hack there, I said you spray the chemistry on the floor, and then you brush it in, and then you extract it off. And now you'll have to wait for the other hacks that are coming up in the next few weeks as to how I do that. I'm not going to show you everything at one time, but Mike, I think you and I were on, well, it was a locker room floor.
It was.
And they had been disinfecting it with disinfectants and a mop, and that floor was clean compared to the one you and I were on.
That floor was probably clean compared to what you were on and I were on, Dave, because what I could not believe, and you demonstrated not once but twice, is just how much mop fiber, cloth fiber that you picked up using the brush roller and getting all of the residues off the floor. It actually looked like a small creature. We actually had a fun little time naming our pet.
I wanted to call him a fur baby.
It was a fur baby. It's a fur ball. Yep.
A fur ball. Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing is, you know, you don't think about this, folks. And the one that you and I were on, Mike, was the little 2-inch ceramic tiles. The one that I was on in this hack was the big 6-inch. So your grout lines are a little bigger here. And folks, you just don't understand. There's all of this fabric from the mops and our clothing that fall onto that floor that gets in that grout line.
It just becomes embedded in all the residues, and that's picking it up and picking up the chemical residues is really giving you the results you're looking for: a clean, dry surface, clean floor.
There are 4 people watching us live, and I appreciate that. I thank you. If any of you guys have a comment that you'd like to put in there about the hack that we're talking about today or last week's hack, please just put it in the chat line there, and we can talk about it. Now, why do I use a cylindrical brush instead of a rotary brush is what somebody had sent me because I share different things with them. So I'm going to answer that question here, although it's not a question that somebody gave me for today, but this always comes up. And the reason is because the grout line has depth. The ceramic tile is where the brush skips across the tops of that. Now, some people say, oh, it gets in the grout line. Well, yeah, to a certain point. The whole thing here is this is a cylindrical brush machine. And you saw it just scrubbing that up and just getting that all up. Hey, Mike, whenever we did it, we didn't even put down chemical the first time. We just used water.
Well, there's chemical on the floor already, Dave, when the water demonstrated that. But, you know, the combination of the two ultimately provided really good results because you got the bleaching of the grout lines, and they really popped after you got the dirt out of there.
How many times do people just really don't? I mean, you know, we're so intent in this industry to use the chemistry to start with. And what Mike just said, the chemistry is already there, folks. When you're restoring a floor, whether you're the one that's been mopping the floor or somebody else has, that mop is just put it there. The first thing you need to do is rinse the floor so we find out if we can just get it up.
The only question I have for that, Dave, is everybody's about time, and honestly, everybody's looking to maximize their results in the shortest amount of time. So, does it make sense to turn that into a two-step process, or does it kind of warrant, if you're going to do a deep restorative cleaning, does it make sense to just attack it right out of the gate?
No, it does not make sense to attack it right out of the gate. I'm glad you asked that question, Mike, because here's the reason. 50% of the complaints of a facility come from the restroom. So are you there just to say that you swabbed at it, or are you there to eliminate those complaints? You know, I was taught a long time ago, going back and doing something over costs you 3 times more than if you'd done it right the first time. And unfortunately, this is what we've been doing, is we've just been going over it with the chemistry, laying it in the floor and going, well, that's the best I can do. Eventually that comes back and bites you. So my point is this: let's think about removing on a daily basis more efficiently, so I never have to deep clean at all.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, that using better chemistry, engaging a process like that doesn't leave the residues and stuff would diminish the amount of deep cleaning you have to do. Absolutely.
And Mike, this also goes back to, let's use the chemistry correctly. So to your point was, let's just go in and just blast it with our cleaning chemical to start with. Well, folks, I got to tell you, if there's a whole lot of cleaning chemical there already, the cleaning chemical you just put down, you wasted. You basically just threw it down on top of everything, and you simply wasted your money. You wasted that amount of time of putting it down. Okay. So thank you, Brandon. He just gave us a question here. Maybe if available, use an acid-based chemical when scrubbing the floor in the restroom. Absolutely incorrect. That's why they called this a coaching hour. The first thing you do not do is use acid on grout. Acid on grout will open up the pores of the grout. It will degrade the grout. It will make it more absorbent. So the thing you want to always do when it comes to a restroom floor is use alkaline chemicals. So you start with rinsing the floor, getting everything off. And Mike, to your point, I want to purchase a cleaning chemical that is going to remove the issue. The issue is what's left after the rinse. So that way, the chemical that I'm going to purchase, that I'm now going to apply, can actually do the job I bought it for.
And I agree, Dave, except what I was thinking about is the fact that particular bathroom you and I worked on was fairly neglected.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was basically cared for in a procedure that lent itself to a lack of good results rather than good results. So I think if you implement procedures that give you an ongoing maintenance program that provides better results, as you said before, not applying the chemical into a bucket and then sticking a dirty mop into it, or as you and I lovingly refer to it, the rope on a stick, and then just moving stuff around the room. Better mopping systems, better application of chemicals is going to probably reduce the amount of times you have to go and do a deep cleaning.
So Brandon, I want to just go back to your question that you posted here, and thank you for posting that question, Brandon. The thing is, acid chemicals in the restroom only belong in the urinal, maybe sometimes in the sink, depending, and I'm going to say that very carefully because you've got a metal part down in the bottom of that sink. So you got to be very, very careful about what type of acid. But definitely your urinals and your toilets, the inside, that's the only place acids really go. Now, of course, we have all kinds of acids, as you know, Mike. There's all kinds of safer acids, and I don't want to get into all of that today. But just to say, acids in general should only be used inside the toilet bowl. And now, folks, if you were watching, I did show the week before how to apply toilet bowl cleaner to your toilet bowl. And I could have brought that up today too, but anyway, hey, Brandon, go to the YouTube channel. You'll see about how to use acids in the bathroom safely. Alkaline chemicals, by and large, are what we clean grouted floors with. Well, or at least we should. That's best practice. No comment on that. Okay. All right.
For me,
Yeah, well, yeah, you're the only one that's out here I'm talking to. Brandon
I
gave me his note, and I hope it didn't I hope it didn't mess something up there. But
no, you know my feelings on that, Dave. I have a horse in the race and strongly back it, and I'm a peroxide fan, and I know the hydrogen peroxide formula employed in our peroxy H stocks is one that leaves tile grouted floors in excellent shape. It really has the ability to break down into very safe byproducts of water and oxygen. And again, it's still a function of using products correctly, Dave. But we're about giving people good results in the amount of effort they're putting in.
and that's to my point, and I understand there's always a time, but there's efficiency. And my point with in the restroom is that with 50% of the complaints coming from this small area of our facility, then that's what we need to do. We need to remove this on a daily basis. This issue with odor problems, if you follow the hacks I've been giving you, because we started with one of the hacks was getting into that urinal where people don't get, and I showed you how to do that. Applying the toilet bowl cleaner under the rim where the mold is. That hack will help you. If you actually will spray the chemical with a pump up sprayer, which is another hack I gave you, all of this goes to the point of that chemistry, HDOX or whatever. And by the way, hey folks, as a Great Clean just put up on from Facebook, I'm a peroxide fan also. Thank you very much. So am I. I agree with you. I've been using hydrogen peroxide products for probably 25 years. Why? Because they work and they're safe for me. And back to what Brandon said, they're safe for the floor and they're safe for those surfaces. So it goes to the whole thing. And as you'll see in my hacks, this is the product, as people had asked this on Facebook a while back. The products that I'm using in my demonstration are hydrogen peroxide products for the reasons I just gave you. Now, all of that said, folks, you've got to remove the product. You got to remove it once that you get through with doing what we did today. Guess what? Rinse. Rinse. Rinse.
Rinse, pick up.
It's something we don't do. And that's why we had that build up, Mike.
Yeah. I want to, basically looking forward to the hack to pick up the little sludge lines you drew on that floor with your brush roller. So, because that's an important part of not just cleaning up, but not leaving stuff behind.
Well, the thing about it is, Mike, it goes back to what we started with our hack from a couple of weeks ago was the squeegee. You can get all of it loose. You can use the chemistry and do all that. But if you don't get it up, you're back to where we just started with the video today.
Dave, I'm proud to say that when I've gone out on demos using a variety of auto scrubbers in good maintenance, actually fairly new because many of them are demo units that are fairly new. Those in combination with my peroxy H stocks, they've left lines on the floor that look like you're cutting grass. That's been the difference between the before and after.
And that's the way it should be. Yeah, but the point is, Mike, is if we would actually start taking care of our restroom floors on a daily basis the right way, you wouldn't be able to see that.
Agreed. In a perfect world. In a not so perfect world, maybe you have to do a deep cleaning periodically, but that period becomes much greater the better your daily maintenance is.
So, Mike, that goes back to where whenever a cleaning contractor comes here to the academy for a class, one of the things we talk about, there's two sides of it for a contractor. The side where we're going in and restoring the situation to bring it back to what it should be, and the side of where it's now my floor, I have the contract for the year, it's never going to get that way again.
That would involve doing it right, Dave.
Right. And this is what I learned as a contractor many years ago, Mike, is the fact that, folks, whenever the gentleman said, "Oh, I can tell when you come in and you do it, and I can really tell when you come in," I'm going, "I'm sorry. It should never change appearance. It should always look the right way." And unfortunately, when it comes to the restroom, we do not go to the effort to get it that way. And with all of the disease and the issues about health, you would think that in that small little area of the building that we could do a better job. And so, folks, that's why we have the hacks for you. I appreciate the people who have come on. Mike, you know about some of these things. Any other thought do you have before I get into some of our other stuff for today?
No, I just think sharing good ideas, Dave, and sharing your experience with people is very worthwhile. I use pump sprayers myself now after working with you. I'm not going to look at the storage of an auto scrubber the same ever again. And I find an accumulation of knowledge on how to do things properly is really important. So I'm constantly learning, and I appreciate going back and forth with you.
So, folks, if in fact you've missed some of our hacks over the last few weeks, go back to the YouTube channel, Cleaning with the Academy. There's a playlist there. It'll show you all the ones that we've already done. We keep adding to it every week. So you'll see this hack up there today. Just went out this afternoon. Now, also, if you are where you can, we have the cleaning festivals coming up here in Florida. We're going to start one here in less than a month here in Orlando. Then we move to Tampa. Then we go to Lakeland and Ocala. We will have, around 20 different exhibitors there showing their wares. Mike is going to be there with his HDocs. We'll have many of the items that you've seen me show here in the hacks will be present. Excuse me. Anyway, you can go here to cleaningfestival.com and you can sign up for this. The other thing is that this is our website for the Cleaning Academy, academyofcleaning.com. Seems like over the years, floor care certifications are probably the number one thing that people come here to the Academy for. But we have classes, both you can see the tab here for online learning. So if you're one of those people that need remote, you can get the remote. If in fact you need a live class, go to this drop-down menu here, see all the different classes. Matter of fact, I have a class coming up tomorrow. Somebody will be here about bidding. It's just that easy. You see how you can get to it. You can find out when the classes are, all of the information. And of course, if you like what we do here at the Academy with the cleaning hacks, you can go to this page here. You can, just submit your question so that we can answer it here live on the air. Or if you want to be on, just like Mike is today, you can come down here and you can register, be on the panel with me. Love to have you on. You also can see all of the hacks. Everything is right there. We appreciate the fact that you're with us this afternoon. Make sure that you sign up and go to our YouTube channel. Stay up to date on all of these. Mike, I appreciate having you on with me.
Dave, sorry about the head cold here, but it's always a pleasure. Looking forward to seeing you when I get down to Florida at the cleaning show. And let's go find some bathrooms.
Yeah, well, folks, I'm not sure, but if you're watching and you're not a KC fan, I guess you had to kind of squint there.
Yeah, well, sorry about that, but it's a long-standing rooting interest in how to wear the battle colors today. So I appreciate all the fans out there, but my heart's with the Chiefs.
Okay, so you don't have a cheer for us now?
No cheers.
No cheers.
I'm not going to. I wouldn't impose that on anybody.
Folks,
I appreciate the hacks, Dave. I really do. Like I said, a lot of experience, learning all the time, and it's very helpful.
Folks, we'd love to have fun here. We appreciate those people that have come on and off. I've been watching the ticker, people coming on and off watching. We appreciate that. Don't know which one that you're watching on. So every Monday afternoon, we're live right here on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. We'd love to have your questions. Send them in during the week. If you can't join us on a Monday, we'll have this recording. It'll be up there because the channels do that for us automatically. So I guess we'll sign off for this week. We'll see you next week at 2:30 in the afternoon on Monday afternoon. Cleaning with the Academy. Thank you, folks.